On March 15, 2024, Auckland FC was born. Born with the weight of 1.7 million Aucklanders on its back, it immediately became the youngest football club in the world, and the 13th team in the A-League, the highest ladder of football in the Australasia region. For a football team, history, identity, struggle, and culture all come together on a meticulously designed badge. This emblem tells the story of the club's origins, its journey, and its aspirations for the future. Clubs are coded with mysticism and legacy, recognized by fans around the globe. But how is a football club born? Let's go to Preston, England in 1917, where along the Strand Road we'll find the Dick, Kerr & Co. factory, which at the height of World War I was producing 30,000 pieces of ammunition every week. Let's meet the men inside. Well, actually, the women, as young men across Britain were signing up in their thousands to join the war effort against the Germans. The women were the nation's silent working army, left behind to keep the country's fires burning. Women were working the fields, the coal mines, and the factories, as was the case for the munition girls in Preston. After-work activities were encouraged by welfare officers, and the munition girls' activity of choice was football. The Preston girls from Kerr Ladies FC would play, casually, against other factories around the country, and they put together quite a string of wins. They would often play against young apprentices on their tea breaks, and during one of these casual kickabouts, one of the men challenged the ladies to a proper match after work that day. The outcome is uncertain, but what is certain is that after this moment, Kerr Ladies FC became all the rage around the country. Throughout the 20s, they played a minimum of 2 matches a week, raising money for wounded soldiers, selling out stadiums wherever they went, including Goodison Park, where they played in front of a 53,000 strong crowd. They won the match 4-0. In their history, the ladies won 682 matches of the 755 games they played. This includes a series of matches against men during their tour of America. Notably, they played the first ever international women's football match in history when they traveled to France in 1920 to face a series of Parisian clubs. It might have been caused by the factory conditions or the Lancashire genes, but the Preston women were tough as nails and seemingly brushed aside any competition in their way. Man or woman, it did not matter. We have to remember that for these women, football was an after-work activity, and during working hours, they faced incredibly difficult conditions, especially the munition girls, who had the task of filling shells with TNT. Poisoning was common, and there was no known treatment for the ailment. Often the girls would appear to have yellow skin, caused by toxic jaundice, a side effect of their work. In 1921, the English FA banned women's football outright and urged stadiums to bar the types of charitable matches Kerr Ladies FC were playing. They ruled that the sport was unsuitable for women and had received complaints that the charitable funds raised during matches were not being appropriately distributed. It would take 50 years for the FA to allow women's matches back on English soil. Even though it has a tragic ending for the ladies from Preston, they carried their working origins with them around the globe, from their team name to their recognizable bubble hats. They would wear a similar hat around the factory floor. The side's origins from factory to football are not uncommon. Arsenal was a munition company, and Manchester United was born out of a collection of workers building wagons. Sometimes football clubs were used by cricket teams to stay fit during the off-season, like is the case behind the establishment of Tottenham Hotspur. So football teams are born from factories, workplaces, and other sporting teams, born out of a necessity, sometimes a necessity to stay fit, and, as was the case for the Preston women, a necessity to stay sane. And what about Auckland FC? What is its origin story? Why does it exist, and how was it born? The team will be joining the A-League, Football Federation Australia's love child. Established in 2005, it is the highest level of professional football in Oceania, after the collapse of the NSL, the National Soccer League. The first attempt at professional football in the region wasn't a raucous success and ultimately failed due to a lack of sponsorships, commercial interest, and a sprinkling of corruption claims. They ended the last season without showing matches, just a 1-hour highlights reel shown after midnight. It did spawn footballing talent like Mark Viduka and Ange Postecoglou among others, and a few teams still alive today, like Perth Glory, Adelaide United, and the Brisbane Lions, now known as the Roar. The footballing landscape was dire. Many players were semi-professional as clubs were folding quicker than they could be established. Auckland FC's older siblings from New Zealand, the Kings, Knights, and Phoenix, tell a story of trial and error. Most of them aren't around today. Australia and New Zealand's professional football ecosystem uses a franchise model. If you want to buy a license, you better have big bucks and a good proposal for the league board of directors. And considering the mismanagement in the past, the franchise model seems to be working. The A-League makes new licenses available for certain cities they think have a solid potential to join the party. All they need after that is someone with deep pockets and willing to build on the ghosts of the past. In steps billionaire Bill Foley, or as he's commonly known, Big Bill. As an American, he's no stranger to the franchise model. He bought the license for an expansion team in the NHL, founding the Vegas Golden Knights in 2017. Yes, an ice hockey team in the middle of the Vegas desert. Sounds like a silly idea, right? Well, they are widely regarded as the most successful expansion side of any sporting code in the United States, winning silverware in their inaugural season. As you can probably guess, he's no stranger to adversity, and buying the license for a football team in the middle of nowhere won't faze him, and neither will the haunting memories of Auckland FC's predecessors. Remember the Knights? Their stadium in the north of the city is where Auckland FC will be training. And the Kings? They played multiple matches at Auckland FC's home ground, Mount Smart Stadium. Bill picked up the $20 million A-League expansion license for Auckland at the end of 2023. As of today, the club has a coach, an assistant coach, team manager, and a total roster of 6 players. So I guess the club is born now, right? Or is it still being born? As of early 2024, Auckland FC revealed its kit and logo, along with a handy description with the meanings behind the colors and imagery. It's linked to the city and its sister clubs around the world, also owned by Bill Foley, like Bournemouth and FC Lorient in Ligue 1. I guess the truth is that Auckland FC now exists, but perhaps it still needs to build its soul, something that's done through overcoming adversities, challenges, and shared experiences with their fan base. Just like the Preston ladies from Kerr Ladies FC, the club and the fans will need to get to know each other. Perhaps there will be many setbacks and failures, but ultimately, they will need to take whatever the future holds in their stride and build a lasting legacy for football in the region. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a like. Please subscribe for more football stories. I'm aiming to release a new video every week. Have a great day and goodbye.